Hey all, Heber here. So today we're taking out the Moines because it's been a while and well, this ship is pretty powerful and I can't actually remember if this was before or after the nerf. I think it's before. But don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment, of course, if you enjoy this video. So like most American cruisers, I don't run an agile build on this ship. I think Wichita is the only exception really, and I'm using a lane Montpelier here as my commander. It's an anti-dispersion build. So for inspiration I have Vian, plus 4% incoming fire dispersion, and then I have Azuma plus another 1.8%. And of course Montpelier herself, she gives you with her special all-out assault skill here an additional 10%. And of course you get the camo on top of that, 4.5% I believe it is, and then the concealment module will give you another 10%. So this is pretty much as much incoming fire dispersion as you can possibly get. And on the ship you have aiming systems, propulsion mod, and like I said, concealment system, and the improved reload in the last slot. And this build here pretty much allows you to just sit bow on to pretty much anyone, and they're going to have a pretty hard time actually hitting you. Now, not so long ago I was in a battle with a Tiger Terrorist. I'm sure you know him. He's not a CC, but he is a content creator, and he streams, and you can look his channel up if you are so inclined. We happened to be in the same battle, and I happened to run an anti-dispersion build in that battle, and I asked him after, because he was on the red team and he was shooting at me in a battleship, and I asked him if he could feel any difference, and he said that yes, I can feel a worse dispersion. So at least someone other than myself can, you know, tell me that yes, the build works. So well, it's pretty evident just from, you know, playing it, because you can just sit in one spot really, and especially those battleships who already have kind of questionable dispersion, like they're gonna have a really hard time actually hitting. And even battleships like Yamato, for example, it's a tough ask to hit a Des Moines with this build here. And of course you can use it not just on Des Moines, you can use it on Baltimore and well, pretty much any American cruiser really. And I use it on all American cruisers except Wichita, because I have a full agile build on Wichita. And if you want to look that up, you can just look up one of my Wichita videos. But we'll put another Wichita video up as well soon. But for today, it is Des Moines. So did Des Moines need a nerf? Yeah, I think it did. And I don't think the nerf goes far enough, really. I think instead of cutting only half a second of the reload, it should be at a minimum 1.5 seconds. So another second, and I think that will make the ship a little bit more fair. As it is now, it's still very, very powerful, and some people can still, you know, rake in more than 350,000 damage in this ship here, even after the nerf. So yeah, perhaps Wargaming should look at it again, much to the disgust of Where Are You, Aaron, I'm sure. But he'll just have to live with it. Too bad. Anyway, as you can see, there's not much resistance here from the Reds over on this cap here. We wasted the destroyer early on, and like the guys I'm spawning with, they're doing pretty well. I mean, I have a destroyer with me and I'm backing him up, and together we removed the destroyer that was here, and then really this flank is just fallen, and we're only 3 minutes into the game and we have totally secured this area over here. The B cap is also looking really good, and do you know why that is? I'll tell you why it is. It's because the whole red team is lumping themselves together over at the C spawn, and they are just asking to be crossfired now, because they are just in an awful position, the whole team, and they're only occupying like 1/4 of the map, and that means that the guys over here on my flank, we are now able to easily flank them, and there's no way they can angle efficiently towards two flanks, well, two fronts at the same time, I should probably say, meaning that they'll just have to decide if they want to angle to the north or to the what would be their west, I guess. And no matter what they choose, they're going to lose. It's very, very simple. And especially when I can just sit here at a distance of nearly 18 kilometers in my overpowered Des Moines, that's really, really hard to hit. I can just sit here and pretty much set them on fire and not really, have any risk for me at all. And yeah, fire after fire at 18 kilometers distance. I don't know. I don't think it's fair, but I mean that is the meta at the moment. Like HC spamming cruisers, and it's a shame that HC is so efficient on Des Moines, because when I first heard we were getting this ship, I kind of assumed that it would be really good AP cruiser. But really, if you just switch to HE and just spam it away, you'll do fine. This is one of the reasons for my sort of dislike of the American cruisers. I just don't think that they are that much fun to play, because they are very one-dimensional. It's just, point them in the direction of the enemy, make sure your broadsides are safe, and then you just hold the fire button, really. There's nothing of, setting up elaborate torp attacks, or, being agile and, dodging shots and all that stuff. It doesn't make any sense on these ships here. And there you saw my anti-dispersion build in action. And yeah, they're just kind of boring to play, really. And I've thought that the whole time. I mean, back in the beginning in 2019, everybody was raving about Baltimore and how good it was. And yeah, sure, it's a good cruiser. I have no argument there. But it is terribly boring to play. At least Des Moines is a little bit more fun because you have a faster reload. But in the end, it's limited in the fun factor, the same way that Baltimore is, and pretty much every other cruiser except for Wichita, because that cruiser, you can actually put an agile build on it, and that takes away some of the boringness, I think. It's actually quite fun to play with an agile build. You can of course put this build here also on Wichita, but yeah, I don't know. It's not really, my thing anyway. I much prefer an agile Wichita. I remember I once saw someone on Facebook saying that playing American cruisers is what you do when you have to read the newspaper at the same time. And well, that's pretty much true, because I mean, you sit and then in like the case of Baltimore, every 9-10 seconds or thereabouts, you shoot, but that's it. And again, you saw the incoming salvo here, that the dispersion is just absolutely horrible for these guys here. And I mean, I like to think it's my build, but of course I have absolutely no way of proving that, because there's no stat that actually tells me anything like that. But regardless, it works really well. And take Tiger Terrorist's word for that it actually works. So again, I am quite far away from the enemies here, but as I said in the beginning, we just have to keep distance and just slowly, chip away at them, because they're in a horrible position and they're not really improving their own odds of winning this battle here by staying in that spot. And I mean, as you can see, there's 3 battleships and I can just farm them absolutely, and they are totally unable to even hit me. It's probably also not the best aiming that's going on here from the Reds, but still, it's let's say it's less fun than an agile build. Let's put it that way. The best thing, of course, is to have the opportunity to run both a build like this or an agile build. And of course, you will need both commanders at very high levels for this to actually work, especially Montpelier here, because I had her at 12-2 in the beginning and I didn't really feel much. It was not until I upgraded her all the way, where you get like the full all-out assault perk of hers, and then I also upgraded Vian all the way. It wasn't really until then that I could actually feel something going on here. And of course that is a lot of commendations, insignia, and of course promotion orders. So most people probably have to choose which build they will go for, and well, I cannot really help you there. It all depends on how you like to play the game, and I'm sure you know how I like to play the game. So for me, I always started out agile, commanders completely. I also had a few fully upgraded offensive commanders, like I can't remember anymore, but Le Monnier was one of them, and Scott as well. And I still always went with the agile builds. But as you can see, we are just absolutely wiping these Reds here, and that is primarily down to their pretty poor positioning from the beginning of the game. They still managed to hold on to the sea cap though, which is quite amazing, really. I don't know how they actually managed to do that. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because we have the majority of the caps. We are far ahead on points, and there's really nothing they can do. So I just set my fire number 17 here, and high caliber, Confederate, and Witherer already, and we are slowly approaching 210,000 damage, and I'm still at 39,000 hit points myself. And really the whole battle I've just been sitting, bow on, shooting, going back and forth a little bit, but that's it. And like I've said a few times in this video here, that's kind of what I mean by the American cruisers being, like, they're good ships, but they're just awfully boring to play. All of them, pretty much, except for Wichita. So, just finishing off the Conqueror here with fire number 18, and just reaching 240,000 damage here without actually breaking a sweat at all. I didn't actually do anything. So that was Des Moines, and I believe this was pre-nerf Des Moines. I'm pretty sure it was. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.